Hey, Steve Basic Architect. Yeah, we are somewhere in Texas. Six Pines over Texas Ranch project. You know, I thought we would do a video, but I'm thinking it might even be two videos. We'll see how many I get. But there's a lot of little details that are happening in this house that I think if we go around and we talk about them individually, that we'll get a really good sense of exactly what's happening in this house. There's a lot of great things happening. So let's get started. Detail one, let's look at the framing members. All right, you can see here, if I go here, these are T-studs, thermal studs they call them now, but I just call them T-studs short. They are nothing more than a Truss stud. They're made in Iowa and then trucked up here, ordered, and then they just get put on a truck, shipped up here. So you can get them made to whatever length. In this case here, these are 10-foot walls. But notice that they have two cords, and the inside cord, notice, it's actually turned. They're both like 1.5 inches by, I think it's almost 2 inches. And so that inside one, you get a little bit more nailing surface. So I haven't seen any shiners here. Shiners are when nails are coming through the side here. The framer did a beautiful job, but anyways, these Truss studs or T-studs, these provide a 97% thermal break across the wall system there. So what that means is that any conductive energy from the outside, right, because we're down south, so the wall's going to heat up and that heat's going to try and come inside. Remember, cooling doesn't move. Don't go telling me how you're insulating the wall so you don't lose air conditioning. You're insulating these walls so we don't gain heat from the outside. We're down south, so that thermal break is basically breaking any conductive thermal energy across that stud there. So we're getting that thermal benefit there. And then you might be familiar with what's called the California corner, but when I was down with Jake and we first used T-studs for the first time, we coined the phrase the Mississippi corner. So if I stick my hand in there, you'll notice I can pull my fingers and you see. What that means is that if we go in here and look, I can see all the way to the sheathing there, and I can see all the way to the sheathing there. So that means that I'm getting full encapsulation of that corner with the sheathing, or with the insulation, sorry. We're fully wrapping that insulation around the corner. So that is detail number one, the T-stud. All right, detail number two, raised heel truss. Notice there's a 2x4, I call it a slider because that's what I was taught by the truss manufacturers, slid in there, and then that gives us a raised heel, which means we can get more effective insulation depth right up against from the top plate up against that roof sheathing there. So this is actually going to be a hot roof here, and but the raised heel truss, and then also notice to accompany that we have the Simpson little, I think they're H2.5s. Those are the rafter or truss hold downs there. So that's detail number two, raised heel truss. All right, detail number three, recessed shower pan. Yeah, we dropped the floor framing so the shower pan can be recessed in there, and then that allows us to build up the shower. Remember, the shower has a bunch of sloped surfaces to it that go to a drain, but the homeowner didn't want a curb on this front edge. Typically you'd do a curb and then you could do all the sloping behind the curb because it hides it. But they wanted zero entry shower systems. So the zero entry shower system necessitates dropping that floor and then building that floor up inside so that you get a nice clean transition from the tile floor in the bathroom right into the tile floor of the shower. So yeah, that's the detail there. Recessed shower pan. All right, we're still in the bathroom. We're not going to talk about that recessed shower pan, but we are going to talk to another detail here. I'm going to jump down in the shower pan, and you can see it right there. Yeah, that is a 1 1/8 inch subfloor. It is made by Advantech. You can see right there. Advantech is made by Huber Corporation. So 1 1/8 subfloor. Really, I'm walking around this house with my 165-pound frame, and man, none of these floors resemble any bounce or anything of the like. So that's that detail. 1 1/8 subfloor. All right, next detail. 24-inch on-center framing. Yeah, we take out about 30% of the framing members, move to a 24-inch. I know there's a bunch of people that have objection to it, but it works. We do it on pretty much all of our houses. 2x6, 24-inch on center. It's exactly the same board footage if you did that wall at a 2x4, 16-inch on center. But you can see here, you got a lot of nice cavity area. And even though we're using thermal studs, you can't beat the insulation value of that open cavity. So making it wider, taking out a bunch of that framing, it's to the benefit of the wall. So that's that detail. 24-inch on-center framing. Next detail, UPVC windows, triple glazed. Yeah, a lot of people sit there and say, well, you're in Texas, why do you need a triple glazed window? Well, you got to remember, resistance, or R value, is based on the transfer of energy. Anywhere that I pay for energy, I want to hold on to it as long as I possibly can. So yes, we're down in Texas here. It's damn near 100 degrees outside. That 100 degrees is trying to get inside this house. And in this case here, because we're uninsulated, it is. I'm sweating like crazy. But at some point, we're going to insulate the walls. That means the window is going to be the worst part of the wall. And yes, solar heat gain coefficient plays a major role in, direct sunlight coming in. But I was taught, listen, energy is trying to move across that window. Putting in a better window, because as good as this window is, and it's probably up in like the R7.5 range, because this one's a fixed unit, the fact is, it is still the worst part of the wall. So yeah, that's that detail. UPVC triple glazed windows.